Hey guys, my name is Nick and welcome back to the channel, and we find ourselves back at the Hallows Gate campaign once again. And you will notice that I'm facing a familiar opponent, Rich. Unfortunately, one of our members has had to drop out due to personal circumstances, so we're having to jimmy around the rounds just a little bit just to get some games in and make sure that we've got that odd number so that we can actually play out and see who is victorious per round. Rich is from the Floorhammer Podcast. I'll leave a link in the description below. His podcast mentioning this particular battle will be out on the same day this video drops. So I'll leave a link in the description below so you can go and check out his point of view on how this game went. But before we jump into the video, a little bit of a sponsor plug. I've got my first sponsor, so this is a bit unusual for me. But a big thank you to the people at GameMat EU who have furnished me with a couple of new gaming mats and some terrain in order to support this particular campaign. Now, I've already owned a load of their stuff before that I have bought from my own cash, so I'm really happy with the quality of it. I'll actually do a review of the stuff they've very generously sent me coming up on the channel very soon. But needless to say, in this video we're going to be featuring one of their brand new mats and some of their classic terrain as well, their pre-painted terrain. So once again, big thanks to those guys. But in this video, Rich is bringing his Ultramarines, I'm bringing the Thousand Suns. It's 500 points, it's Beachhead, it's Combat Patrol. Let's get straight into the video. So today I am joined by Mr. Rich O'Keefe from the Floorhammer Podcast as we return to the Hallows Gate campaign. And today we are going to be playing Combat Patrol. How you doing, Rich?
Yeah, I'm good. Ready to face off again after our round one interaction where you might have won.
I may have won. I think it was 2-0, wasn't it? I think the first one.
I'm claiming the practice game as a win, so it's all good.
Well, yeah, you did smash me in 2 turns in the practice turn, so I'll give you that. And then I learnt the rules really quickly and then beat you, so that's
how it goes.
That's fine. So what we'll do is we'll have a little look through your 500 point Combat Patrol. For those not aware of how we're doing Combat Patrol, I'll put the the formation card thing up on the screen so everyone can see.
It's got its own detachment card, right?
It has, yes, and you won't find it in any rulebook. It came straight from a Games Workshop campaign, so I shall put that on the screen so everyone can have a little refresh of the limitations that are required. But in the meantime, let's take a look at your army. So this is the Ultramarines that I'm going to be facing today with my Thousand Suns chicken army. Do you want to talk us through it, Rich?
Well, it's bang on 500 points. You're bringing chickens, so I bought my flamers.
Thank you for that.
Yep. I started with the unit of intercessors because they're really good. I only have 1 unit of them, but they are pack a good punch. Got to put the warlord in there. It's my good old trusty captain with his combi plasma, which he will be doing his level best not to overheat and give you Slay the Warlord this game.
Oh, go on.
No.
Yeah.
And then 3 units of standard tactical marines. So they have got a plasma gun in every unit, a veteran sergeant wielding a power sword, and a combi flamer. And this is because I forgot to bring my ironclad dreadnought, so I basically filled up on marines as best as I could.
Nice. And your trusty relic you can't take in Combat Patrol.
I cannot take Teeth of Terror, which I'm very disappointed about. So he has a relic blade, which is represented by 2 snippy servo skulls.
Because they're lethal.
They are dangerous. Don't at me about it.
Don't mess with the servo skulls. Cool. When we come back, we'll take a look at my chicken army, and yeah, the Zangors are coming to play. So when we come back, we'll have a look at that, and after that, we will then go into deployment. So let's take a look at the forces of the Thousand Suns for this Combat Patrol. Now, you would have seen this army not that long ago facing off against the Adeptus Mechanicus. So as usual, I am led by an Exalted Sorcerer. He is running Smite, obviously, for being a Psyker, with Warp Time and Glamour of Tzeentch. And a Glamour of Tzeentch making you -1 to hit against units that you cast that on. I have an elite option, which is the Zangor Shaman. He has Smite as well, and Tzeentch is a Firestorm. I then have 17 Zangors, including a Twist Bray and a Brayhorn. I then have 6 Enlightened Zangors on their discs with an Aviarch, and they've all got the Divining Spears. And then finally, to round it off, just to hold home objectives, are 10 Cultists. And that comes in at 498 points. So the battlefield is set. We are playing Beachhead Combat Patrol. In the roll-off, I got to pick sides, and I have picked this side down here, which meant Rich got to deploy first. So let's take a look over here at the Ultramarine deployment. So on the right-hand side here, well, my right-hand side, in fact, the right-hand side, the only right-hand side from this side, is one squad of Tactical Marines. Holding his home objective is 2 more squads of Tactical Marines, with the captain giving all of his aura buffs, and on the left-hand side are the intercessors. They're the bolt rifles.
They are armed with bolt rifles because they're awesome.
Because they are awesome. And central objective has to be placed in the middle. The one on your own side you get to pick and choose. Rich, knowing that I don't have many guns, has placed his boldly in the open to try and shoot me on the way in. And the one in the middle is the control zone for the landing pad. As it is Beachhead, you know, you want to secure this secret, long abandoned ex-Space Wolf landing pad.
Not known for holding the strategic positions of Space Wolves.
No, they built a landing pad and then buggered off. That's pretty much what they've done. And then I sold my Space Wolf, so I don't actually need it in this colour scheme. So it will be repainted at one point. So
it's going to be the ultimate desecration to repaint it in Thousand Suns, just to really get back at the Wolves.
That would be good, wouldn't it? That would be interesting. But I'm going to try and probably paint it in the same colour as the other bastions and stuff that I've done. Okay. On the Thousand Sun side, I have gone with a big blob in this corner because I'm scared of sheety things over there. So my home objective is down here, has to be 8 inches on from each board edge, which it just about is. The cultists are going to attempt to hide behind this large rock for the rest of the game. And yeah, the discs, the shaman and the exalted sorcerer. In fact, I need to put a guy just in front here just to make sure he's never going to be the closest. And then the chickens on the starting block, hopefully just enough far away from all of the shooting, because Rich is going to go first unless I steal the initiative. So I guess the big roll is, am I going to steal the initiative?
Your TT dice.
I have my tabletop tactics dice.
They roll a lot of sixes.
Yeah. They do indeed. They do indeed roll a lot of sixes. I praise Lawrence and the spider, the bone, and the beard, and the chef.
And Sanger.
And Sanger. I'm not even sure I actually want to go first, but I have stolen the initiative.
So you might as well.
So I might as well. So when we come back, we'll be doing a turn-by-turn summary rather than rolling all the dice, and we'll see how the plan comes about. The end of the Thousand Suns turn 1 then. So movement-wise, these guys surprisingly stood still, whilst this unit swung around to this side behind these little rocks here, and then these guys just ran up ready to try and jump on that central objective, which is worth 2 victory points starting from battle round 2. So they've not done a lot. We then moved into the psychic phase and unleashing a double smite from both the shaman and the exalted sorcerer, we killed 4 of the marines that were over here. Did roll a 10, not quite enough for a super smite, but close enough. But yeah, just D3 and each one causing 2 mortal wounds. And then for the second power on the exalted sorcerer, we did a glamour of Zinch on the enlightened on discs, which now means they are -1 to hit from any incoming firepower. Do we have a morale phase for your beams?
We do, yes. Actually recording that, are you?
Yeah, might as well.
Ooh, that is a 10, so I will
But
re-roll
you're a
that.
marine, so you get to do that again.
Yep.
That's
one.
better, isn't
I
it?
have that one.
That's better. They can stay put, and we hand over to the Space Marines for their turn 1. So the end of the Ultramarines at turn 1, and a volley of fire was piled down onto these guys, and with 2 overcharging plasmas and then a fusillade of bolt guns, 3 of them have been smushed, failing all bar 1 of my invulnerable saves that this unit has. So I have lost 3 there. Over here there was a unit in the middle that couldn't quite reach these guys here, so they did pile their shots into here, as there was a line of sight to just 2 of them, and 1 of them was smushed. The captain whiffed all of his shots, so he did nothing.
He didn't cook off his plasma gun though, so I'll count that as a win.
Well, we'll take that as a win, that he has overheated himself. Yes, and that was so as a win, right? But yeah, other than that, that is where we got. I've got a morale phase now, haven't I? Really?
Yeah.
Because I lost 3 dudes. So I've rolled a 6. That's not good. My leadership is less than 9, so I'm going to command point that. and I've rolled a 2, which is going to be much better.
Good spend.
So I've burnt a command point. You did a stratagem in your phase as well, Rich. You spent a command point.
I did. I spent a command point on this unit so that it can count as being stationary for bolter discipline rules. So
that's why they fired so many shots at me.
Double tap at maximum range for 1 command point. Quite good for my spending of command points so far. Normally I frittle them away on pointless crap, but
and with only 3 in this entire
that's the
game,
thing. You've got to think about it.
You've got to think very carefully about what you're going to use them for. Do you want them to save them for that 2-point not running away morale phase, or something more exciting?
Yep.
So far we've burnt a command point each, and from this battle round 2 that we're going to enter next, that's when we start scoring, and we score from the start of each player's turn. So as we go into the Thousand Suns turn 2, I will automatically score 1 point, and you score nothing until the start of yours.
That's correct.
So that's how it works. But will I?
You've got to kill everything before the start of my turn.
Pretty much, and that's a hard ask.
There's a lot of wounds there, yeah.
That's a lot of wounds to get through, but we'll come back at the end of the Thousand Suns turn 2 and see how we did. The end of the Thousand Suns turn 2. Was it a brave and bold or brash decision? I don't know. I think it might have been a bit too much, but you know what? Playing for the narrative, let's pile in. So, movement phase then, the Enlightened just swang up here, and then swang on their demon discs and flew up there. The Zangors that were down here then wiggled their way through this little corridor, and then during the psychic phase were warp timed by the Exalted Sorcerer, threw them right into the battle over here. There was a little bit of smite first from him, then using a command point I then added an extra ability, which was the Great Sorcerer.
It's quite a nice option to have that, to throw in an extra psychic power if you need it.
Which I did, because I cast Glamour first to make these guys -1 to hit, which we'll get to that in a second. I might have done better with the 4+ save, you know, but there we go. Cast an extra power in order to do the Glamour, because he'd already done his smite, which killed your little unit of 3 that were left. So between those 2 smites, we then piled into combat, and I went balls out. Let's be honest. I tagged all 3 units in the charge. Cost me another command point because it was only a 7-inch, well, not even 7-inch.
It was a 5-inch roll.
I rolled like a 4. Even with +1 with the Brayhorn was not enough to really get enough models into combat. So my final command point was a reroll of the 1. It came up nice, so I got that in. These guys failed their charge, but the Shaman did succeed, meaning that his ability to give +1 to hit to the Zangors was going to come in handy. In my round of combat I killed 7 Marines. I lost 3 on the Overwatch on the way in, and then you hit back with the new Marine rules.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Intercessors with 3 attacks apiece and 4 for the Sergeant on the first round of combat was unpleasant for you.
Yes. Because even though you killed, 6 guys, I'd lost a total of 9 in the phase.
Yeah.
I then rolled a 4 on my morale phase, and 6 more died, leaving just the Twist Bray boldly staring at a veteran sergeant. He's going to get smushed in a second.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the round, it is 1-0, but you will be scoring your point at the start of your phase. Neither of us got first strike. Neither of us have got anything else at the moment. So still all to play for. This could be a very...
This is going to be a bloody match.
Interesting game, because you're even though I took 6 or 7 Marines out, 7 Marines?
You've killed half my Marines now.
Yeah, but equally, you've still got a lot of shots. So I need some good dice, and hopefully you get some bad ones.
Yep. Those cultists need to get involved, mate.
These cultists,
well, auto rifles actually.
They're auto rifles. They're going to stay there. They're not coming out.
Come on!
Joking. Let's be joking. Let's go and find out how the Ultramarines do in turn 2. This is why Ultramarines are good. Let's have a look at the battlefield and look at the lack of Thousand Suns models. As even though I tagged them all up, and in most cases anyone who fell back out of combat would be able to do nothing about it, you can fall back and shoot.
Yes, I could. So the only unit that wasn't still engaged at the end of combat was the Intercessors, so everybody else fell back and at -1 to hit, unloaded with everything they had. which was unpleasant.
Including your last command points for the stratagem to give them rapid fire 2.
Yeah, so I gave the 2 command points, gave the intercessors rapid fire 2. They had not moved, so they could fire with bolter discipline, double shots at long range. So they had 4 shots apiece at AP -1, and did a number on the shaman on disc and the last of the chickens on disc.
Yes, so I am now down to just my exalted sorcerer and the cultists. We are 1 apiece as we go into the Thousand Suns turn 3, but I think this could be over very quickly, because once you jump on that objective and I do nothing about it, you just score points, and that's going to be over very quickly. But
let's see how that actually
what if I get
out.
a super smite off, or something crazy happens, wipe a unit out, something like that, and then it's a game of dice, anything can happen. So we'll enter the Thousand Suns turn 3 and see if the Tzeentch gods are favouring me today. Backsies never work. So, end of Thousand Suns, it's go big or go home. So, the only thing I've really got to do is just send the Exalted Sorcerer in to lead by example. As he did, he unleashed a bit of smite, killing a couple more Marines down here, and then charged into the Intercessors, and as he did so, casting Glamour on himself to make him -1 to hit, he then proceeded to force save 2 of them in the face. I did take a wound on the Overwatch though, but other than that, I suspect that you're just going to fall back and I'm just going to get shot to pieces. And as we go into that, it's 2-1 to me. You're going to score a point immediately at the start of your turn for these guys holding that objective. And then my concern now is that if I get shot here, it's going to go straight to Slay the Warlord, and then I won't be able to come back from it. So this could be the final turn.
See how it goes.
So the end of the Ultramarines turn 3, he has sauntered his way into the middle of the objective here and taken that. Doesn't score it until the next turn.
Is that what a run roll of a 1 is called? Saunter?
Saunter. It was an advance of 1 inch. However, you softened up my my Exalted Sorcerer, and then you thought, mano a mano, let's have a bit of a punch up. So you swung your captain in. Instead of just shooting me, which was the Ultramarine thing to do. This is a narrative thing. We're not trying to win by mass dice rolls.
It is narrative though. I should have just gunned you down.
You should have just gunned me down, yes, absolutely.
There's no fun in that. It is
you were -1 to hit, and you inflicted just 1 damage. I then fought back and inflicted 2, and that's where we are now at. And, that is the end of your turn 3, so we are 2 apiece. I'm going to score 1 at the start of my turn, but you're going to start scoring 3 from the next turn. So, we'll see how we go in the Thousand Suns turn 4.
My sage tactical advice.
Get them involved. End of the Thousand Suns turn 4. Cultists decided to go for a bit of action here and pop their heads around here. Long range shots and killed a Marine.
They very nearly got the sergeant as well.
They very nearly got the sergeant as well. It's 6 hits and 2 wounds, and you failed a save.
And a close roll on the other. So
it was. You did all right. So well done, cultists. Well done, lads. Playing for the game there, because you're still going to score the 2 points, unfortunately. But you know what? Had that happened, that could have swung the game a little bit. But alas. But over here, all that really happened here was my Exalted Sorcerer smote and then beat your captain up in combat, and then he's just moved his 3 inches towards those troops. He's now going to get bolter disciplined in the face. But at the start of your turn, you are going to gain 3 points, putting you 5-4 as I score Slay the Warlord, giving me that 4th point. I suspect you're going to get the same back any second now. But yeah, I would say all to play for, but it's not. So, as suspected, the end of the Ultramarines turn 4, and it's all over except the crying. You moved up your intercessors just in case something went horrifically wrong.
I can see a cheeky shot from the cultist winging that sergeant, taking him out, and I didn't want that to happen.
Yeah, so just in case anything else went horrifically wrong that turn, always hedge your bets.
Got some redundancy plans, Nick.
Yes, absolutely. They took out 2 cultists, and then you just shot my Exalted Sorcerer away from the board, claiming a Warlord, and then the next turn you will then score lots of points, of which I can no longer catch up with. So, the beachhead that the Thousand Sons were trying to secure for the next stage of the Hallows Gate campaign has been defended by the filthy Reboot Gilliman lovers, and that is the end of the game. Awesome game.
Let down by the Space Wolves again, mate.
Yeah, I'm blaming the Space Wolves. Always the Space Wolves' fault. So there we go then, guys. Beachhead defended by the Ultramarines. So in this round, I've gone 1-1 so far, having beaten the Adeptus Mechanicus of Glenn, but falling short of beating Rich with his Ultramarines. There are still several games still to run in this combat patrol phase of the campaign, so I do not know how this is going to pan out just yet. Hoping those games are going to be wrapped up in the next few days. The next round will see us playing 1,000 points, so we're going to see some bigger toys start to appear on those tabletops. Looking forward to crafting my 1,000 point list for that very soon. In theory, I should be playing Bill from Warzone Morlock in the next round, so we'll see how our diaries line up so we can get that game in. But until we know the results of this round, we don't know which part of the campaign tree we're going to be going into. So I'll just put up on the screen in a second just how this campaign tree is forming. So we know roughly what's going to be happening in the next rounds, but all depends on these last two games, as anything could happen. But if you're really excited about seeing the next phase of this campaign unravel as we move into the bigger points games, make sure you click that subscribe button and the little bell button for notifications of all uploads on the channel. It'll be much appreciated. Costs you nothing, but means everything to me. But if you enjoyed this battle report, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I shall catch you guys on the next video.